Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for race 4 of the Summer Garage Shop College Cup Series here in the CIL. We're coming to you live tonight from virtual Darlington, South Carolina, and what should be a very difficult challenge for these drivers. This is not an easy track by any means, especially given the conditions that are already out there on the track this evening. I will be one half of the voices in the booth this evening in Alex Gagnon. Alongside me, Josh Crane. And Josh, first couple races have been quite a bit of fun. Hoping to see some more of it here tonight.
Well, they've been a ton of fun, and these Gen 4 cars with all the horsepower were a really fun way to mix up our summer here for our official or unofficial drivers. You can see there. And yeah, being able to we've been to Auto Club. We just came back from Daytona Super Speedway. Rockingham was a pleasant surprise for us. A lot of green flag laps there, and saw some very tight racing between these drivers. And it's always, anytime you go, I think you change cars, you change tracks, you go to a little bit different arena and environment, Alex. You get to, again, highlight in a little bit different light the talent that these drivers, that these students have. It's very fun to watch and very cool indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Darlington is certainly a track where the drivers will be challenged through every step of the way. I mean, none of these corners drive the same as another one. And each of them have their own unique challenges, whether it's trying to navigate turn one with how narrow of an entry it is, how quickly that wall in turn two can jump out at you, or making sure you get a good run coming off of four back down the front stretch there. We've seen races won and lost coming off of turn number four here, as we see Clint Halterman doing his laps there, and that nice throwback to Clint Boyer in that UNC Charlotte car. But yeah, right now, I mean, Darlington is just one of those tracks where track position is going to be so critical because it's not the easiest place in the world to pass. So once you get out front, you have a pretty good opportunity to stay out front. But we could see some very interesting pit strategy here tonight if this race stays green, as people try and find their way to get that track position and then hold on to it.
Yeah, we could, and I think that track position is going to be key. I think back to Rockingham, which was another kind of thin, upper pace track for us, and that was exciting to see. Again, we mentioned the tight racing these drivers had, but was also pretty tricky to pass. Drivers were trying to back up the corners. Drivers were trying to force themselves into different lines, and I think we're going to see that here. Both ends of the track, you probably want to be at different lines for both of those. Especially for fans who would watch these cars race during the mid-2000s. So that's going to be something that these drivers just have to navigate and have to work around, in addition to working around each other as it gets pretty crowded. Working with this Darlington Raceway track is going to be just half of the excitement here for these drivers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, we're on board with Edwin and Onofre now taking a look at a couple of other drivers as qualifying starting to come to a close here. Most drivers at this point have run their 3 laps, and the grid is being set, but they still have a couple minutes to do so here, including if you're Matthew Morton from Ohio State University as he dives into turn number 3. Already has picked up 1 win so far this season, one of 3 different winners through the opening 3 races of the season. He is definitely fast through the opening couple races, although currently, I was going to say sitting in 8th, but jumps up to 2nd as I say it. He now puts himself in a very good position, and it looks like there's still a couple of cars to run a lap here, but the times very spread out, anywhere from 29.4 to 31.0.
Yeah, and there's a big range there, as you see North Carolina at Charlotte putting a car up into the top 10, and still second there for the Buckeyes. But yeah, a lot of these drivers are going to be able to figure out just what they're doing. Another great paint, Alex, that we have from Jared Kaler, and again, North Carolina at Charlotte, fitting that former Carl Edwards scheme quite nicely there on. I think that's the first time I've seen that paint on a Chevrolet, Alex.
Yeah, it might be the only time I'll ever see it on that either. It's a bit of a weird fit, but I honestly kind of like it. And he is the reigning series champ, if I do remember so correctly, picking up the victory in a very narrow margin last year. But currently sitting P4 on the grid behind a couple of couple of folks. A lot of representation from UNC Charlotte in the field today. I already see at least 3 cars on the board. There might be a 4th. But you got schools from all over the place who are in this race tonight, ranging from, UNC Charlotte to Alex Hallinar representing Binghamton. You got, Northeast, Southeast. You've got a couple of drivers out west, I'm pretty sure, as well. They really run the gambit. We have some international folks as well, some of the folks from St. Clair College up in Canada, as well as there is another driver who I don't think is here tonight, but also from the College of Sport Media up in Toronto. So, starting to get a little international as well.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see really the best students come to race and the competition that they put on, and very exciting. Yeah, Binghamton University is trying to work, obviously got their laps in right there, just outside the top 20 for Legends driver Alex Hallinar, but he's trying to go, big slide off that corner as he's trying to see just how much he can squeeze out of the tires in the run, and not a bad opportunity right now, Alex, for these drivers to all kind of figure out what the first 5 or 7 laps of the run is going to be like as they try and, again, figure out what the track temp is, what it means for the tires, where to manage tires, just about everything that is going to go into the minds and calculations that these teams are making.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to keep track of. There's no doubt about it, and this is not a short race by any means either. So the strategy will likely change and adapt over the course of the race as, cautions may fall or may not fall, and then you have to dictate when you're coming in for tires and fuel based off of that. So there's going to be any sort of infinite ways that this could play out here, but qualifying is coming to a close here in just a couple of seconds. Hallinar on his final lap here, trying to improve on that 21st place qualifying spot at the moment. The lap comes in, and it does not look like he improved off of that 30.12, so he will continue to hang in that 21st spot here as we've now hit the 10-minute marker, marking the end of qualifying. 26 cars ran a lap in qualifying to set the grid, and I think it's only fitting that we start to run through the starting order now.
I think so, and you'll note that the Buckeyes did steal that pole position from Randolph Community College. So that'll be Matthew Morton, the Buckeye there, atop your tower. P2 is going to be Sean Campbell coming back for this season here from Randolph Community College. Clemson and Andrew Williams will be in 3rd place starting this one. North Carolina at Charlotte, that's a name, a school we're going to call out a lot tonight. Jared Kaler moved his way up to P4. St. Clair College is 5th, courtesy of Zach DeWale, and Clint Halterman is the 2nd North Carolina Charlotte car in this field, 6th position. North Carolina State and Matthew Nordberg in P7, and St. John's University and Nicholas Budimlek in 8th position. 9th place going to be Connor Levy, the Arizona State Sun Devil, followed by his teammate Garrett Vitton, Arizona State University. The University of North Texas will roll off P11 with Edwin Onofre, and Colin Copa from Indiana will roll off in P12. P13 will be Dylan Godinez and Drexel University and Drexel Esports. Jason Wallet will roll off 14. 15 will be Cody Hunley and East Tennessee State University, and Austin DeLong will be in that 16th position. Baruch College and Edward Sanchez will be there in 17th, and starting 18th will be the Boilermaker, Andrew McCall, in that position. Timothy Wilms and Drexel University, again, this time in position 19 to start this race, and finishing up the top 20, Northeast State Technical College, Kent Hunley will be your 20th position driver to start this one. Binghamton University, we followed along for a little bit. Alex Hallinar is going to try and improve on that 21st position starting spot. And Valparaiso, Ricky Paz, going to start 22nd. Clemson University's Andrew Burrell will start 23rd. And Robert Morris University in the distinctive cow livery. No need to change for tonight. Tyler Klingensmith will roll off 24th. 25th will be Spencer Brown from North Carolina at Charlotte, and Valparaiso University again, this time with Ethan Decatur behind the wheel. That 00 machine going to roll off 26th as you see the cars moving. Wingate University, Jake Cummings, and Wingate University, Brandon Schulenberger. Those two drivers may be working together starting 27th and 28th in this one. And Alex, a bit of a storyline there. That'll be one to watch. Not usually where we see Wingate start these races, but maybe didn't come in, maybe had a little contact with the wall. Contact with the wall would invalidate that time there. So as we get ready for this one, you can see right there at the front of the grid, Alex.
Looks like the 29 of Sean Campbell has dropped to the rear of the field. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but that means Jared Kaler has inherited that front spot on the outside row alongside Matthew Morton, as the 29 now takes his spot in line at the end. But the pace car is off, so we are about to get going here in just a moment. Green flag up in the air. The car is coming off of turn number 4. They have reached the Guy Car restart zone. Flag is flying, and we are racing at Darlington as Morton will take an early advantage in the turn 1.
He does, and great jump out to first place. Suddenly these drivers backed up a little bit, single file, but big trouble back in the back, and Decatur looks like he's around. Andrew McCall up slow right there. All drivers taking, looks like what is evasive action low, and I suspect we have a caution out by the pace of these cars. So little bit of excitement there to start that one, Alex.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can find the replay to see what happened back there with McCall and Ethan Decatur. But looks like the front pack kind of single filed pretty evenly into the corner. It looked like the back of the field where things got a little bit hairy here. So we'll ride on board here with Ethan Decatur in the that car that looks to be all grayed out.
Yeah, he's getting
Just
trouble
out
on
of contact with the 007. As that was, I believe, Brandon. That might not have been the show. That might have actually been Jake Cummings. Jake Cummings gets sideways there. Yeah, just not entirely sure what happened there. It looks like Cummings takes the middle line here. Oh, big check up there from the 188 forces the 007 up a little higher, where the contact was made with the 00. Just a bit of a weird bing bang sort of play there. But definitely not a great way to start if you are Wingate University or Valparaiso.
No, it wasn't, and yeah, a little bit of excitement. The 188, that is North Carolina at Charlotte, Spencer Brown. He's trying to work into the corner. Maybe saw a little bit of a checkup there from Andrew Burrell up ahead, and yeah, evasive action there from the 007. Kind of a clunky incident right there, if we can say so. But back up at the front, these drivers didn't feel a thing. They were all spread out, Alex, before they got into the first turn.
Yeah, they were. They got sorted pretty nicely. It's also worth noting here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series, there are no fast repairs this season. So if that car sustains too much damage in an early wreck, unfortunately, that will be the end of your evening. So if there is sizable damage to either the 00 or the 007, they will have to probably bring it down pit lane and start getting some repairs here early on, because there is no button to hit to immediately get yourself a fresh set of wheels out there.
No, there's not. These drivers will hopefully rack them up again. This time by one to go. This time by under the yellow flag. But yeah, it looks like that was a racing incident according to the stewards, and we will get double filed, set to go. So green flag next time by Alex. But yeah, I think that makes sense. I just don't know how else you'd call it. A bit clunky there. I do think that Brown was responding to the scene in front of him. I don't think it was a spontaneous tap of the brakes, but maybe not what Wingate expected right there. And that's comes with, starting there at the back. Maybe they were trying to do something different, but Wingate University now in a bit of a hole. And it looks like actually Colin Copa has taken that Indiana machine behind the wall and is doing some repairs there.
Either way, it'll be a quality opportunity here for a couple of those cars in the front couple rows to get a better jump on Matthew Morton. Morton got a great jump to start the race there, and maybe they'll be a bit more in tune with the timing of where he wants to go on these restarts here. Either way, still plenty of action ahead. Once again, it'll be Morton and Kaler running 1-2, Williams and Halterman 3-4, and then DeWale and Roberg there in row 3. Pace car peels off the pit road. They are round in turn number 4. Green flag in the air once again. They put the hammer down, and we are racing once again at Darlington.
Back again, a great run, but this time a run down the inside for Clemson University. They're going to try and make that move on the inside, and will it stick? I don't think so. That was a little bit spooky right there, and maybe not with the doctor order, but again, the top 4 sorted out. But Edwin Onofre and University of North Texas, not so much. Trying to get down the inside is Drexel Esports. That is Jason Wallet in that distinctive 76 machine. He is trying to make the move underneath, and yeah, it looks like early on here, and kind of true to form, the outside, Alex, that outside line is going to carry the momentum off the corner. That seems to be in style right now.
Yeah, especially early here when you're trying to get your groove. When you're trying to make a pass at Darlington, either you have to get a run off the corner to make the move down one of the straightaways, or you need to be really, really aggressive going into the corners and then just try and make something stick, as we see the 67 out of St. John's going to the inside of Spencer Brown there. That's Nicholas Budimlik who makes the pass on the 188, and he will clear and move ahead of him. As there was a bit of traffic there coming off of for Brandon Schulenberger battling with Colin Copeland toward the back there. But yeah, this is such a tough track to pass at if you're not careful. As we come back there, we see Willott and Onofre still side by side here as they dive into turn number 1. Willott trying to find his way through on the inside, just can't quite get the run coming off of the corner, and so the 199 will continue to hold on to that position for the moment as they charge back into turn number 1. Jumping ahead here, you see Connor Levy all over the back of Clint Halterman. This is the battle for 6th as it currently stands. And both of these cars have won before in the CiL. They know how to get it done, as the caution is out, I believe, for the 2nd time. Looks like the yellow light's on. Yep, Spencer Brown sideways in one of these corners. That 188 has had a rough opening 8 laps.
Yeah, kind of a tough way to go for the 188. Not sure what started this one, but looks like he was down in the corner, and yeah, a little bit of wiggle off turn 4. Nothing we can't handle. Across the finish line he goes. The 7 car gonna look inside right here, and oh, looks like contact, but it also looks like the 188 kind of slowed up mid-corner, but kind of tricky to see from that angle. But yeah, very maybe a little bit of a surprise there mid-corner. And we will reference, Alex, that when we came to Darlington last time, we had a couple incidences where cars, yeah, it looks like actually he was kind of loose in the corner. And I don't know if that was an errant input, maybe from the pedals or from something else, but I was going to say that here at Darlington, we have had a couple disagreements on drivers. We talked about the lines here at Darlington Raceway, and some drivers will try and maybe like a dirt sprint car would try and get that car rotated in the center of the corner, and other drivers feel like they want to kind of power through the center of the corner and see if they can make that stick power off out of the corner. And right there, yeah, Spencer Brown trying to get his spot back, and so yeah. Little bit of extra excitement here at Darlington, but I can't say I'm surprised, Alex. We know anytime we come to kind of a thinner track like this, maybe 2 racing lanes, it's always a battle for real estate.
It always is, especially when you have those disagreements in lines. But definitely looked like the 188 was going for a bit more of a conservative entry to get a more aggressive exit, and the 7 of Schulenberger I think had the opposite approach, where they wanted to really drive it into the corner and then try and hold on to it rotating out of the corner. And you know, you're more than welcome to disagree on racing line, but when you have that big of a difference directly front to back of each other, it can cause some problems. As we saw there, we'll take a look at it one more time here. As you see, the 188 really, or this actually might be yeah, this is the corner before. So when they come into turns 1 and 2 here, this is where it happens. So you see the 7 already pulling onto the back of Spencer Brown there in the 188, and then you see the 188 kind of take a really soft entry as the 7 really dives in, and that's where the contact is made.
And you know, it looked like the 188 you mentioned didn't quite get as low as we've seen some other drivers as they kind of clip that white line or go below that white line to get in the middle of the corner, get in the center of the corner, and so maybe I had to check up a little bit to counteract for that. But nonetheless, maybe clunky, we'll call it clunky yellow number 2 and turn our attention here as we get set to go. That 13 car is, these guys would love a little bit of green flag running right there. The orange wheel machine as well. Clemson Tiger, he had a pretty good restart, but it does seem like that outside line is the place to be right now, and I wonder if the 58 could get a good restart, if the 58 could just kind of hang up on top and make that pass around the outside for the lead, Alex.
He's definitely in the better lane if he gets the jump, but so far through the first two restarts, Matthew Morton has done a phenomenal job of getting distance from his opposition before they even reach turn one. But if Kaler can stay within the vicinity of the 13 getting into the corner, he might have the opportunity to try and make that pass through 1 and 2. But it's going to be a matter of if he can get that jump, and so far he hasn't. But with every ensuing restart, if you're the leader, you start running out of different ways you can restart it. You can only catch your opponent off guard, I believe, so many times. I don't know how deep of an arsenal he's got in the mental strategy game of when to hit the gas for the restart here, but if you have to keep doing restarts every handful of laps, eventually you're going to start running out of options.
How many times have we heard NASCAR drivers say, yeah, just one too many restarts as various races come down to their conclusion? On your screen is that blue machine, St. Clair College's Zach DeWale. He is ready to go. That's a driver that we expect to see up front tonight. But up here back at the front, these drivers are getting ready to take 3. You can see NC State, the Wolfpack right there hanging out on the inside. That distinctive throwback paint scheme in front of the Arizona Sun Devils. All these drivers getting ready to go, Alex, as we come to the green flag for the 3rd time.
Yep, pace car down pit lane, flags in the air. Here comes the restart. Kaler didn't get a bad one, but Morton gets a good enough one to clear him going into turn number 1. Ohio State holding on to the lead here. Williams gets to the inside of the wheel. He'll take 3rd away once again. The front 4 have single file out as they have the previous couple restarts, as it gets a little more chaotic behind them. Wallat and Onofre continuing their battle from the last restart. They are side by side once again. Again, it's Wallet on the inside with Onofre on the outside. Here we come, coming out of the corner now. That 199 going to be able to put the throttle down a little bit better coming off the corner probably, but he clips the wall, so there goes Wallat, there goes Hundley, Godinez, and Hallinar all around. DeLong trying to get to him as well. One little mistake off of turn number 4 just cost Edwin Onofre 4 spots in 1 straightaway.
And that will not be the last time that we see that tonight, Alex. Very difficult for that driver there, and once you get up in the wall due to some reasons, it is really hard to get off the wall and get back in line. But here at the front of your screen, we see it right now. This is the battle for the lead, and it's a 3-way party here. Clemson trying to ruin the UNC Charlotte and Ohio State battle right there. And look at the gap between those cars, Alex, just subtly opening, closing between those cars as they move through the corner. That's the difference in driving styles, driving lines, and inputs that these drivers and teams are having all night long. And up off the corner, we'll see if that's UNC Charlotte machine can do anything, and a pretty good lap there for the 13.
Yeah, 13 with a great lap there. Morton starting to get a little bit of distance to Kaler, but the person who's closing in on the gap right now was Andrew Williams. He is all over the back of that 58 right now. That white and purple Clemson car was hanging on the bumper for a couple laps. Now has dropped back to about a car length behind Kaler here as he's trying to find a more consistent way around this track, maybe looking for his opportunity to strike. But that lack of initiative has allowed Zach DeWell and Clint Halterman to also get back into the scene. The front 5 cars starting to pull away here. They are 8/10 ahead of 6th place from 5th on forward. So there's a little bit of a lead car breakaway pack here. And it looks like the 76 has brought it down pit lane. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I'm wondering if there was some contact earlier on, because he now finds himself with an unscheduled stop here on lap 17.
Yeah, that is Drexel University and Jason Wallet on pit road. He's down there. That is not where he wanted to be, but back up at the front, I'll tell you, there is a driver that I see moving forward handily. That is Randolph Community College. He is trying to put that 29 machine in front. Big slide job right there. Keeps it off the wall, keeps it in the gas, and Sean Campbell, Randolph Community College, he's making his way forward, and he's going to set his sights now on that Binghamton machine and let's see what he can do. It is not an easy task. Oh, and loose
Oh, the
is the
57 was
57.
sideways. Wow, that was a big slide off the corner. He's lucky to have held on to it. But that's going to allow Campbell to dive to the inside here in the 1. He'll be able to take away the position and move into 9th place. But I think Hallandar is just happy to have only lost 1, because that could have been catastrophic for the Binghamton driver.
That was a big slide right there. And you saw a little bit up the track here. Dylan Godinez is trying to work, and a power move right there. A little bit of, I don't know if there was contact or not. Everything seemed kind of fair, but the 76 right there had a mirror full. And that is Matthew Nordberg right there. And in fact, as we go back on board here, we can see just how close it was for that Wolfpack driver. He had not too much time right there. In fact, this is on board with Alex Alinar right there. But looks like right now, Dylan Godinez, as we just said, has a little bit of trouble. The yellow flag is out. And the yellow flag is out.
He had just made the pass to get up to like 6th or 7th place. I think it was 7th past Matthew Nordberg. We go to check the replay. We come back and he's sideways. What happens here is he's going through the corner. Doesn't have a great run through it. The 076 right behind him. Oh, just a little bit of contact and then immediately turned around the 808. That was, it was flush contact, but it wasn't like he was like moving 30 miles an hour faster. I mean, that was a pretty even speed bumper defender, and yet that car immediately just turned right around.
Yeah, it did, and actually both cars should be on the gas right there, and it looked like the 808, we could hear that the 076 was in throttle, the 808 with a little bit of a checkup right there, and maybe we can even get on board one more time. You can see what the drivers are seeing right there in that lower right corner, but there's Dylan went around there, That's a bit of a head scratcher, not where you want to be lifting, if it was indeed a lift on the exit of the corner there, Alex.
Yeah, I wonder if he just couldn't quite get the car settled going through 1 and 2. Either way, a lot of takers for pit road here. Just about everyone making their way down to get some fuel and 4 fresh tires. Looks like the only cars who stayed out were the 42 of Garrett Vitten and the 007 of Jake Cummings. Morton wins the race off of pit road ahead of Kaler. Williams holds on to 3rd coming off the pit road, so no major changes up through at least the front 5 cars. Sean Campbell, I think the first car to gain any position on pit road as he rolls off P6. But that also, I think he got by Connor Levy on pit road. So not a whole ton of shuffling there except for the Randolph Community College driver continuing his charge to the front. We know he's got speed because he qualified 2nd. But then, I don't know what it was, but he dropped to the back of the field before the start of the race, but now he finds himself in P8 here as it all shuffles out. 6th off of pit road plus the 2 cars who did not pit.
Yeah, that track temperature continuing to stay pretty casual there. That's 86 degrees Fahrenheit for our North American friends. It's probably American friends, as our friends north of the border might disagree with that unit of measurement, but 86 degrees nonetheless here on track. That's going to be continuing to give these drivers some pretty good grip. Not a lot of wind here, 8 miles an hour, and yeah, I think pretty much this is, if you're a driver, this is the evening that you'd like. This pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like some wonderful weather out there at virtual Darlington for tonight's event. But yeah, I mean, so far, if you are Matthew Morton, everything has gone right through these opening 20-some laps here. You've got to be really happy with how things have been progressing. But now, even if it's some cars who didn't pit, you're going to, at least for a moment, be in dirty air. You're going to be behind a couple of other cars, and I'm curious to see if his car will handle the same way in clean air as it does behind a couple of cars. It's not a huge hurdle to overcome since the 42 and the 007 are on significantly older tires. But I wonder if that opens up the door for a Kaler or a Williams or a DeWale or somebody to try and take advantage when there's some car to work off of ahead of them.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit of insight there, Alex, as we get lined up, coming to the green next time by. But you can see there that maybe didn't need to come down pit road so urgently because Garrett Vitten and actually Jake Cummings has a lot of laps on those tires. That's 21 you see on your graphic, but actually maybe came down pit road and kind of got off sequence with these drivers. So Garrett Vitton and Arizona State, that team, trying to do a little bit of trickery. It's gotten them up to the front this far. The key, Alex, will be can they stay there? And you and I up in the booth are going to get to find out just how much those new tires are worth. So always exciting here as we get working kind of the lap, about 25 here of 150. And Alex, I wonder if some green flag laps are in order.
Yeah, I absolutely think they should be, which would work to the disadvantage of the two cars who stayed out here. I would not be shocked to see one of these guys in row 2 make a really aggressive move through 1 and 2, trying to clear the cars on older tires here. But we'll see how well they hold up here. Pace car peels off. Vitton and Cummings currently lead the field to the green. Green flag in the air for the 4th time this evening, and it drops. We are racing once again at Darlington. And as Vitton tries and dives into the corner, he's got a whole host of cars right on his bumper.
That is not what you want to see. Oh, and deep
Williams
down inside is Williams. He's got it gathered up on the apron. We'll check how he got there in a moment, but staying with this action up front, that's Sean Campbell in the big white 29. He's slicing and dicing his way through, and up battle for the lead. Arizona State University to the outside. Can they keep a nose? Not quite right there. And man, probably a good lack of risk right there. The Sun Devils figuring out it's a little bit early in this one to be put in there, but the Buckeyes now on a charge forward, and yeah, look who's up at the front of this one, Alex.
Yeah, Matthew Morton currently leading once again here ahead of the 42 out of Arizona State. Kaler settling into 3rd with Sean Campbell on his back bumper now. The 29 has rallied back into the top 5 here, and Zach DeWale rounding out this lead 5 pack that has already broken away again from the rest of the field, much like it did on the last green flag run. But right now, it is the Ohio State show up front as Matthew Morton trying to run away from the pack behind him. Not really getting the separation I would have expected, though, from Vitton on those older tires. The 42 hanging in the pack there pretty nicely. And if he can continue his speed through the corners, being behind that car and getting a little bit of draft help down the straightaway will certainly help him. As now Kaler maybe looking to the inside of the 42. He's got a nose there, almost some contact, but they get it sorted here as now the 58 will once again dive to the inside here in 1 and 2. Campbell trying to follow him through as well. Vitton just trying to hold it up to the wall. There was some contact there as well. Kaler into the wall now. He drops back. Here comes Campbell to the inside. DeWale trying to take advantage as well. Kaler lucky that he only lost a couple positions there as it looked like there was some heavy contact for a moment.
That was heavy contact up on the outside wall. The winner there is Randolph Community College. As we see the ticker here, he's going to set his sights forward on the car ahead. That is the Ohio State University machine. But yeah, Sean Campbell coming out there, and now Zach DeWale gets to go to work on that Sun Devil machine on older tires, and so we're going to see just what those do. Down to the inside, I heard a little bit of contact with the wall, nose to nose. By the time they enter the corner, a little bit of a wiggle down as they get under braking, and yeah, not much to do if you're a Sun Devil fan. Those tires are going to be a little bit aged, and so maybe we're learning that about 10 laps is the magic number. You'd really like fresh tires if the opportunity comes up, Alex.
Yeah, but it's also worth noting he's still in this lead pack here. I know he's fighting with Kaler for 4th, but there is a bit of a gap between 4th back to or 4th and 5th back to 6th there with Jake Cummings, who's also on the older tires. As people are trying to find their way around the 007, this has allowed this lead pack to kind of break away a little bit. As Kaler looks to the inside once again to the 42. Last time he tried this, he ended up clipping the wall in 1 and 2 after a little bit of contact potentially with Vitton. As he looks to the inside once again, able to clear the 42 that time around. He'll move into position number 4. And now the two cars that stayed out currently running 5th and 6th. Still honestly holding on to some decent pace here as we have a battle for the lead. Sean Campbell all over the back bumper of Matthew Morton.
Yeah, he is. And boy, I keep trying to get a time for those replays. I'd love to see what happened between Kaler and Vitton, but no time here. As you can see, that Chevrolet closing right up on our leader, Matthew Morton, and suddenly That 13 machine has a mirror full of Randolph Community College. What's going on here? And mixed emotions. We know that Campbell likes to run that high side, even in the road and oval discipline, really likes to carry his momentum on the outside of that corner. But that Ohio State machine not always going to cooperate with that strategy. Looks like a big slide off that final corner right there.
Yeah, Campbell definitely got a little bit loose coming off of turn number 4. He's really cranking it right now, trying to find his way past the 13. Morton, though, has been mirror imaging what Campbell has been trying to do behind him here and has held him off pretty nicely here for the past couple of laps. Campbell thinks about going low, now goes to the second highest line. Morton puts just enough of a fender there to try and hold off the run and will take that inside line once again as they come back to the stripe for lap 34. Once again, Campbell now looking to the inside. He could get aggressive here in the turn 1. He dives in, but has to back out, unable to get the momentum he needed there. And for the time being, Matthew Morton holds on to the lead. Ohio State still in control of this race. But right now, his closest challenger so far this evening has been Sean Campbell, and he continues to apply the pressure.
Sean Campbell did try that low line and I think found out, maybe confirmed what we wondered, Alex. That is, it is so hard to keep that momentum on the inside. You really have to let the car slide up and you have to stop your progress short if there's another car on your outside. So yeah, that outside, that's the place to be. No surprise there. And now look, he's going to try and get right up underneath of that 13 machine. And can he look underneath again? He's going to try it on the other end of the speedway. Here's an opportunity, Alex. Down in the corner, down in the white line. He's carrying the speed through that 13, is getting to the gas as soon as he can. The 29, both those cars sliding off turn 4. They're going to come to the stripe this time by, and I don't know if the 29 can do it. And right now the 13 at an advantage.
The 29 is completely peeled off the track. He's just plummeted on the timing tower. Not entirely sure what happened, but he's dropped back down the 4th right after that battle for the lead. But here goes Morton now firmly in control of this race. St. Clair and Zach DeWale currently inheriting second place. And now all of a sudden it is the 13 show up front, but there is plenty of battle still throughout the rest of the field.
Yeah, back in the rest of the field, we saw Binghamton University was climbing their way forward. They've made some really good progress. Another one we have talked about is Wingate University. They're making their way forward. Brandon Schulenberger is making some progress right now. Wingate Esports is going to have a little bit more enjoyment watching that go on. Tough start to the race for Wingate, but making some really good forward progress now. Just cracked the top 15, Alex, and so that's where you need to be. Still a long way to go in this one.
Yeah, there absolutely is plenty of time to go. Still working on lap 38 here as we have a decent battle brewing here for position number 8. Or 7 actually, as Viton is now trying to hold off Cody Hunley of East Tennessee State. See Alex Hallinar lurking in the wings as well. That 110, though, with a great run down the straightaway, thinks about maybe making the move into this corner, but will hold off for a moment. The 42 way up toward the wall. East Tennessee State really digging to the inside, trying to make the pass off the corner. Not able to do so coming off of turn number 4, and will have to jump back in line. He's done a pretty good job managing these older tires. I know Jake Cummings has struggled a little bit. He's dropped down the 14th now. But Garrett Viton still holding on pretty good in position number 7, despite the fact that those tires are about 20 laps older than the rest of the field.
Yeah, I think that tracks another driver that's moving forward. Baruch College is trying to go to work on that 808 machine right there. Dylan Godinez, who had a little bit of a stumble kind of through the early going in this one. But Edward Sanchez, that 26 car, he's trying to make it work here down to the inside. And not sure if he can get around that 808 machine. But the battle continues, Alex, and it is now 3-way for Cody Hunley. He's got to defend here from Binghamton University.
Oh, and Alex Hallinar just rockets past him going into turn number 1. Outbraked the 110 there off the inside and was pretty aggressive going into the corner, but he makes the pass work. He'll take position number 8 away, and now he has his sights set on trying to capitalize on the older tires of the 42 ahead of him. Meanwhile, the 110 trying to bounce back and get to the bumper of Alex Hallinar here. All 3 of these cars have been battling for position for the past several laps here. Also, looks like we have a pretty decent battle for fourth and fifth, as it looks like Connor Levy has closed up to the back of Clint Halterman here, as they're trying to work their way into the scene here. Connor Levy did pick up the win in the spring season in the NASCAR Next Gen Cup cars at Darlington here in an absolute classic. As Halterman's in the wall, they double the 07 into the wall. Now Levy trying to make the pass on the inside. He's able to do so. Edwin and Ofrey also a rocket pass on the inside. And much like we were talking about earlier there, Josh, all it takes is clipping the wall a little bit out of one of these corners, and the rest of the field will make you pay.
And the University of North Texas from earlier in this one knows what it's like to come into contact with that wall. But likewise, what else have we said? That 07 uses the high line to get at least one of those positions back. Now he's going to set his sights. Oh, up in the wall again. So trouble. And these drivers, maybe it's the tires as they get more. Now the 07 car would have pitted on that last run, but maybe nonetheless those tires are starting to wear just a little bit, or that driver, Clint Halterman, is not managing that right front tire like he should be. That could be another theory, but nonetheless, here we go. Let's check again. A third lap in a row. Can we stay off the wall on the outside, that UNC Charlotte machine? Yeah, he's going to stay. Keep that thing a little bit lower this time by. And you can see that must be the way to do it. I see everybody doing that now, Alex. As you get down into turn one, they hop in there and they take that line right up to the wall, and then they try and straighten that corner as much as they can, and closing right up to the back is UNC Charlotte.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. In my limited experiences running Darlington in the CiL, that was kind of the way you had to take it. You kind of catch the corner on the way up, diving into one, and then once you get up toward the wall through the middle of the corner, it gives you a lot of an opportunity to really straighten the car out and really put the throttle down coming off the corner. But it's such a very particular line that it's very easy to mess up if you don't get into the corner the right way, which we've seen a couple drivers do already. As the caution's out, the yellow flag flies, and Edward Sanchez sideways on the backstretch. Doesn't look like anyone's with them, though, so I'm not entirely sure what happened, as he'll get that car facing forward again, everyone able to get out of the way. But we'll have to take a look at the replay here to see what happened to the driver out of Baruch College.
Yeah, it looks like working through the middle of the corner. We talked about that's the way to do it. Up by the wall, down by the line. Don't know if he got loose right here. And, yeah, it looks like he actually had some help trying to work through, I'll say, kind of snake between those two cars. And we'll see if we can get a better look right here. Again, Baruch College and Edward Sanchez. He's trying to get that down to the inside. And you can see right here, oh, big, you know what he was trying to do? He's trying to avoid the 19 who popped the wall in front. That, you know, slowed up the crew just a little bit. But looks like he grabbed the wall himself, and that made that very difficult right there. So, yeah, bit unfortunate.
Like, just a bit of a reaction from the 19 clipping the wall ahead. And then when he checked up, caught a little bit of the wall, caught a little bit of the 7, and ended up getting sideways. But it looks like a number of cars have brought it into pit lane here. Everyone who was on the lead lap bringing it down for fresh tires. The big winner in that exchange, I feel like, is probably Garrett Vighton, who was able to save an extra set of tires on that cycle compared to the rest of his peers, and will continue to be hanging around the top 10 area, I would think, but we'll have to see how they come off pit road. Looks like Jared Kaler actually won the race off of pit road. He gets ahead of the 13 of Matthew Morton. Wonder if there was a strategy call there, because Kaler wasn't running second either. He was at least third, maybe farther back. So maybe a bit of a strategy call there for the driver of the 58, who now has inherited the lead.
Yeah, that could be. That was not, or I'll say they came in certain fashion. Right here, you can see him coming on pit road, and there is Kaler, not too far behind the 13. So I think he did take 4 tires. Just a great stop, and you got to wonder, did the 13 miss his box in any way right here? As you can see, these drivers, they're coming down to the end. That 13 car is coming to his box. You can see Kaler's going to pull into his right here and makes that mark. Does the 13 overshoot? No, I don't see it. I think, oh yeah, just a little roll back right there. That's all it takes, and suddenly...
and DeWale also had to do a little bit of a rollback. I saw that right before we changed cameras there, so no wonder the 58 got ahead. The 2 cars ahead of him overshot their pit box, and that allowed Jared Kaler to make up 2 positions on pit road and inherit the lead of this race.
Well, we know that those pit stops are key, and so you can see right there, a couple of those cars are going to be waved around when we get that the white flag under yellow. That's 1 to go, and yeah, that UNC Charlotte car, he's going to be your leader, and Jared Kaler gets to be the control car, and that might be, we're going to see if that's all it takes for that driver to check out. I don't suspect that he'll drive away too far from the Buckeyes, Alex, but we know he's had the pace all night. Now he's got the open road to do something with it.
Jared Kaler is the all-time wins leader here in the CiL College Cup Series, but has not won for some time. Did not pick up a win, I don't believe, in Season 7, which was the spring season. Got it done based off of points. And then so far this year, Clint Halterman, Zach DeWale, and Matthew Morton each have a win to their name. So it has been a little bit of time for the driver of the 58. But as he now inherits the lead, maybe that is the opportunity he's looking for to take control of this race here. Matthew Morton going to have to get it done from the outside lane. This is the first time all day that the 13 has restarted in the outside lane, even when there was lap traffic ahead of him, or not lap traffic, but cars who stayed out ahead of him. On the last restart, he was still on the inside lane just in row 2. So a bit of a different opportunity for both Kaler and Morton here. Also a quality opportunity for Edwin Onofre, who off the pit cycle now finds himself running in P4.
Yeah, that was a very solid position for some of those drivers. North Texas included, able to work up there, and we'll see if those drivers can have a similar reaction time. Then maybe Edwin Onofre can leverage that top spot, find himself on the final step of the podium in this one. But right now we are coming down to the green. You can see those drivers all in your frame right there getting caught up. There goes UNC Charlotte. In fact, there goes both UNC Charlotte cars. So the top 3 in square communication, but everybody else a little bit late to the game. There's that high side as that green machine powers around, and he's going to get the job done. Not much there, but a little bit further back in the pack, you can see Kent Hundley, Binghamton University. Can Alex Hallinar make a move to the inside?
Morton's
He'll try and get the job
for the lead
done.
on the inside of 3 and 4. He's to the inside of the 58. We'll have to see who gets the better run off the corner here. Both cars with a little bit of a wiggle. But Kaler holds on to the lead here for the moment and just is able to clear the 13 as they dive into the corner. Now the 13 right back up to the back bumper. There is no space between where the 58 ends and the 13 begins. And as this battle continues, it's let Clint Halterman get into the scene a little bit as well, hanging back just enough to see where the dominant line is going to be. He goes to the inside here along with Kaler. Morton to the outside now after trying the inside the last time around. Now he's going to get that run down the straightaway that he might need. This could be what it takes to get the 13 back up front. Kaler diving to the inside, Morton to the outside, gets a little tight there in 1 and 2, and Morton is going to squeeze on by and retake the lead here on lap 52.
Yeah, I thought Morton was going to need that outside line there on the exit of turn 1, but didn't even need it. I probably would not have left the top so open as we saw there, but easier said than done. Maybe there was something else that 58 was thinking about. But new leader at the point. It's the Buckeyes again. They're out in front of this one, and that could be danger for the rest of the field, Alex.
It absolutely could be. He has been the fastest car for the majority of the night. As we see a battle there, as Ricky Paz disappeared for a moment, but he's back and on the heels of Nicholas Budimlik in the 67 there out of St. John's. As the battling continues farther on back, we see Zach DeWale trying to get by Tyler Klingensmith on the inside here. This is the battle for 13th as it currently runs. That is the 65 of Robert Morris on the outside, trying to defend Zach DeWale. DeWale had run up in the top 5 most of the early part of this race, but now marred back a little farther in traffic, trying to find his way around the 65 here, trying to get that run down the straightaway. Might be able to do it right here, as he looks like he's got a nose to the inside. Now they are side by side as he goes into the corner. DeWale able to clear him going into turn number 3 and will take away position 13.
Yeah, and Robert Morris University, good to note. Top 15 run right now for the Cal machine, and was a little bit hesitant coming into this one, Alex, but really good progress so far. Speed, pit strategy, it's all there right now for the Robert Morris crew.
Yeah, he's having himself a quiet but positive afternoon thus far after qualifying 24th, up 10 positions from where he started this race. Also up about 10 positions from where they started this race, the two Wingate cars after qualifying 27th and 28th, currently battling each other side by side. A couple of teammates battling for P15. Almost a little bit of contact there coming off of 4. Schulenberger has the nose ahead as they dive into turn number 1. He really puts it in there and closes up, and he's sideways. Oh, he tried going for the slide job on his teammate and couldn't hold it. He's going to be able to keep the car forward, but that is a huge loss of speed, and that was a gutsy call there, Josh.
Wow, I'm still paying attention to that, but it's going to be an awkward moment in the hauler there for the Wingate crew. Not sure if they were just working on that, but yeah, got into the corner, kind of tight right here. This is the preceding corner, so coming off, they were all ready together. Little bit of contact right there. Maybe not, maybe even just a little bit of net code, but down the front stretch, a little bit of damage on the right front of that 7 machine. Not to be confused with the 007 machine. Just grabbed right there. You saw the 7 car. Schulenberger grabbed that apron, and that was all it took. That 007 was on a mission forward, and suddenly there they are. But tell you what, Alex, back at the front, not running away is the Buckeye team. Those two, that duo right there, the 49ers, they've pulled that leader back in just enough, and maybe hanging out or so, as we've got a long way to go in this one. Still about 60 laps down, 90 laps to go this 150-lap race.
Yeah, right now the UNC Charlotte car is content on just keeping the 13 within striking distance. Kayla running second, Halterman running third, keeping an eye on Morton ahead. All of the cars within the top 10 here are a little spread out, just kind of starting to log some laps here, get comfortable with their line, and finding a way to extend their tires longer than the guy ahead of them. But, you know, there's still a lot of time left on these runs, and a lot of time left on these tires here. As now Levy looks to the inside of Edwin Onofre for a moment. He's not going to be able to get it done, though, coming off of turn number 4, and he'll slide back in, currently running in the 5th position. Just kind of hanging out there for the moment. He knows how to get it done here at Darlington, looking to do a bit of a repeat action here, but he has to find his way past Edwin Onofre first.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And another driver who's moving up as we talk about Arizona State. Oh, big car on the wall. That was Clemson in the wall right there. Andrew Burrell.
That looked like Andrew Burrell, yeah.
Yeah, but Garrett Fitton, the Sun Devil, has been moving forward quite politely. I've been watching him on the second monitor here and has been powering his way forward, putting that machine. He was back outside the top 20 and moving up 17th. Again, he's on that alternate pit stop. So, and Jake Cummings is showing around. And there is the 007. The caution is out. And how did we arrive here? And yeah, the 007 and the 65. And a little bit of excitement again here, Alex.
Yeah, and once again, in some capacity, we'll see the replay here, but Wingate's had an eventful afternoon when it's come to yellow flags, whether it's been directly involved or partially involved here. But looks like the 65 just gets a little high off the corner, and as they come through, oh yeah, just gets really loose off of 4 and makes contact with the 007. That is a tough break for Jake Cummings there, but the 65 was just trying to catch it out of the corner, and there was a car right there.
I think that seems to be the case. Not what you want for Wingate University. That was not very comfortable for that crew, but riding on board here, yeah, it's so hard, and these cars have such a slip angle in the corner. His front was well off the wall, and yeah, just slowing up, touching that quarter panel, and then you see somebody, Alex, getting in the corner, and you want to get down there, and you can't. You see somebody passing you, so you just roll onto the gas a little bit. I think that's what the 65 did right there, and the rear tires were not ready for all that horsepower, and look at what we got. Connor Levy on pit road, Arizona State. So is Garrett Fitton. Those drivers are, that's what they've done, Alex. They're just on that alternate strategy, and they're going to see if it pays off here at the end of this one. And yeah, we got Jake Cummings to pit road right now. And a lot of these drivers are going to have to get sorted here as we kind of reshuffle the midfield with a lot of these pit strategies. So it'll be exciting to see, Alex, how this pans out here in a couple laps.
Yeah, there's a couple of pretty fast cars who are trying to work on this alternate strategy here. We know that Vitton and Cummings were the guys who stayed out when everyone else came in back on lap 25, so they had an extra set of tires compared to the rest of the field. As we see Colin Colton going around, he is the lucky dog, I believe. Um, but with Cummings being involved in that incident, I mean, he was going to have to bring it down the pit road regardless if that was his pit strategy or not. But that still leaves guys like Edwin Onofre and Garrett Vitton in a very interesting position of where they've had top 5 speeds so far, but they're on a completely different pit cycle. So depending on how the rest of this race shakes out, they could be either in a really, really good position to make something happen, or, they could be digging themselves in a much bigger hole. But I like the idea here, trying to get off cycle from the rest of the field and trying to do something different and seeing how it shakes out.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can take a look right here. The big thing that stands out right now, top 10 all on the same strategy, minus Ricky Paz, who...
Yeah, has Ricky not...
I think that might be... we might have to double-check the telemetry on that one. I haven't seen Ricky Paz come down pit road, so that could be possible, but 63 laps on those tires would be very commendable here under these conditions. Wonder if he is running the hard compound from earlier this week. But if we can peek at some of the others, yeah, this is the 11th machine. But
oh, there we go. Yeah, you see, that's where the strategies start getting really interesting here, is in the 11th through 20th area. The one that jumps out the most to me is guys like Jake Cummings or Garrett Bitton on a completely different cycle than a good chunk of the field there. Even guys like Schulenberger and Budimlik are still pretty off cycle, all things considered.
Yeah, I think so. And drivers like this, Connor Levy, who you can see right there, has just taken tires down 6 positions. So will those tires be coming back to the front? That will all remain to be seen. But these drivers now are going to line back up behind that pace car, too wide. And, we're almost halfway there. 75 laps will be the official halfway point where we cross the flags here at Darlington. And Alex, I think that it has perhaps been a little bit more of a physical race than we expected, and a little bit more of a just of a tough one where these drivers have to negotiate their environment, maybe some clunky interactions as well.
There's certainly been a few of those. There's no doubt about it. But we talked about it at the start of the show, and we knew this was going to be a challenging one for some drivers, especially as tires start to go away, and that seems like it's very much been the case here. But, at least up front, not too much has changed. It'll be Matthew Morton on the inside. It'll be Jared Kaler on the outside. Clint Halterman on the inside of row 2 there. And Cody Hunley getting himself into the picture here for East Tennessee State. He is currently in 4th. Halinar and looks like Andrew Williams has rebounded after that spin from earlier to get back into the top 6 as well. So pace car has peeled off. They are just about to get into the restart zone here. Green flag in the air. We are racing once again at Darlington.
Yeah, and a little bit of slip out of that Binghamton University, but a bigger slip from the 23, and suddenly the running order looking pretty solid down here. But I'll tell you who's trying to do some defense right now. Zach DeWale is trying to get his thing done, and he's slotted in line behind that Clemson Tiger, but he will not have an easy time here with Ken Hunley breathing down his neck from Northeast State Technical. Getting down in the corner now. A lot of these drivers in a little bit of a wiggle, actually, out of what looks like the 7 car. That's Brandon Schulenberger, who's trying to get that sorted out now. He's got to battle that 14 car. And so those drivers are going to do battle down into turn 1. Can the 14 close the door?
Looks like he's going to be able to. Nice power move there by Connor Levy as he rockets through 1 and 2 and is really pulling away from all the cars behind him now. He's looking ahead to, I believe, that is Nicholas Budimlik out of St. John's, who he's trying to chase down now. Schulenberger now on the defense once again as he's got Edwin Onofre on those fresh tires breathing down the back of his neck. Onofre looks to the inside here, and those fresh tires roar on past. He makes the pass with relative ease and moves into the 12th position. And he continues his charge forward as the Fresh Tires group continues to have a pretty solid run here. As just behind him, Ricky Paz and Nicholas Budimlik having quite the battle there for 10th as Connor Levy's closed up to the back of them as well. The 67 and the 19 side by side through the corner, really having to check up the 14 there And this is and Edwin Onofre close up to the back of him too. Levy thought about making a 3 wide, gets back in line here as the 67 still trying to clear the 19 of Ricky Paz. But Dimlick way up the track. He's able to keep it off the wall though, makes the pass off the 19. And now Levy and Onofre and everyone else trying to follow him through on those fresher tires, trying to capitalize while there's still a major tire advantage to be had.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. A little bit of internet in and out there for the 19 car. That's Valparaiso University. But I'll tell you who was racing pretty well there was, again, for St. John's University. Nick Budemlik was putting up a good fight right there. Good on the 19 as well. Didn't have a lot of room, and that is very hard, Alex, to keep the slip angle in these Gen 4 cars. And up in the wall is the 67. He's going to go up those spots. Edwin Onofre.
Commentator's curse.
There you go. Edwin Onofre scoots by, and this 14 had already done so. But that is the Arizona State car, and North Texas up ahead. Alex Hallinar sliding back down. And what is up with this Binghamton University machine? Actually not showing right now, so maybe has had some issues.
He might be off track now, yeah. He might no longer be on the track if we cannot find him with the cameras. But right now, Zach DeWale on the back bumper of Andrew Williams. Two cars who regularly find themselves battling in the top 5 here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. DeWale on that blue 02. Williams in that orange, or the orange wheeled but purple and yellow car for Clemson. And as that battle continues, we see Edward Sanchez here diving to the inside of Hunley. He makes the pass here, but as he gets really loose, now Edwin Onofre trying to capitalize on the 26. Connor Levy continues his warpath to the front here. He's now moved up into the 7th position and closing in on this battle between DeWale and Andrew Williams.
Yeah, right here on board with the whale. That's what he sees at the front of his windshield. JR Automation and FSA Technologies taking that 23 down the front stretch and into turn 1. You can see here these drivers all getting back down to that white line right now. And just as high as they can, turn into that second part of that corner as late as they can. Watch out for that wall. It jumps out off turn 2. And man, he is locked in there. That is Zach DeWale that you're riding on board with. St. Clair College, and we've seen nothing but the best out of him. Some of the best CiL moments here with Zach DeWale. And a little bit of slide off that corner right there. And that's the second time that the 23 car, that Clemson car, has had a very good shot off the corner.
There goes Connor Levy on the fresh tires. Set up his pass beautifully. Rockets passed into the 6th position. And now he's got Cody Hunley and Andrew Williams directly ahead of him here. Looks to the inside, but Williams blocks him off because he looks to make the pass on the 110 machine. Now Levy's going to have to settle in behind him. DeWale settles in behind this whole pack here, waiting to see how it's all going to shake out. Looks like Andrew Williams able to get the pass done for 4th. Levy able to get the pass done for 5th. Here comes DeWale now as well. Hunley absolutely stranded on that outside there. And here comes everyone past him on the inside, losing 4 positions in a straightaway and a corner.
Yeah, struggling a bit right there, but man, what can you do? And now what can you do with the front end pushed in like that 23 car? That 14 is there. He's got the tires. And again, we are seeing this advantage. You can see it on your screen. What does that 4th place car have? Man, he's in 3rd place now, climbing forward, up 5 positions already. Just 13 laps on those tires. That tire age is half of his competitors. And so Arizona State... A little bit of
contact between the 199 and the 02. DeWale really got pushed up toward the wall, able to not only hold on to it, but also keep it ahead of Edwin Onofre. But that got really dicey for a moment there.
It did 100%, and now big trouble, big checkup, and around goes the 0-2. Can he hang on? He will hang on, but that will not be looked very kindly right there. He's going to have to slot in line behind Baruch College right here. Arizona State's going to look low again. The battle for that position continues on as Edwin Onofre is going to try to hang on to 6th place. But man, Alex, nobody's safe out here.
No, they are not. I think especially if you're one of the cars on fresher tires, you know that you need to capitalize while you still have this advantage, and you don't want to get held up. But that was a pretty interesting sequence of events there between him and Zach DeWale. Definitely one I would like to take a closer look at here once the race is concluded here. I want to see how that all shook out, but there's still some great battling here as we're looking. This is the battle for 8th as Edward Sanchez trying to hold off the 42 of Garrett Vighton, and he's in the wall. Sanchez drops back. Vighton makes the pass on the inside. Now DeWale looking to capitalize going down the backstretch as well. He dives to the inside of that 26 for Baruch College, looking to clear him through the corner, able to slide up and make the pass. And, you know, it's just the tale of Darlington. It's so easy just to clip that corner a little bit, and then you lose a couple of positions because of it.
It is the number one lesson here is you got to stay off the wall. And a
110's
110 is up
row.
in the wall. Man, these tires, Alex, these tires have got to be falling off at least the right fronts on these cars, because that's what these drivers need to turn in. They want to stay off that wall, and it's just not working out. You can see right here, Edward Sanchez tried to take advantage. Not sure if he can. Oh, now he's going to look low. That's not going to save the right front at all. He's made it up to the center of the corner, but can he do it? Yeah, Kent Hundley. I think Kent Hundley is playing this one a little bit safe. He sees this mess at the front right now, and he says, hey, there is a long way to go in this one. No need to get too deep into it. We still just past halfway, Alex, and so a lot left to play for these drivers. Right behind Cody Hundley, a familiar name, Kent Hundley and Northeast State Technical. That driver forward on the march. And who else behind but Nicholas Budemlek, St. John's University. He is moving forward. St. John's University has, especially on the roadside, Carmine Caruso, a very talented road and
Connor
open
Levy
wheel.
now up ahead of him, trying to make the pass on Jared Kaler. The fresh tires coming into play there. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there, Jonathan. This was a furious charge to the front here. And with Levy clearing Kaler, now only 2 cars stand between him and the lead. As his tires, I mean, they're starting to fall off a little bit, but they are still 15, 16 laps fresher than the rest of the field.
Yeah, he is, and two things, he is marching forward, and Kaler has fallen off his teammate a little bit, Clint Halterman, that he was following. And so that's not the case anymore. But yeah, Connor Levy is flying forward. He's doing a great job right here. And here he goes, dive into the inside on those fresh tires. And man, what pace. And I wonder if the 14 has anything for that Ohio State Buckeye. He's a little bit up the road. He's about 2 seconds up the road. But we'll see if Connor Levy can get the job done.
Yeah, no one in front of him now to try and slow him up, so we'll just see if he's got the raw pace to catch the 13. Right now, there you go. You see Matthew Morton about a corner ahead of the 14 out of Arizona State right now. But it's all under cruise control for the moment for the 13. No one really ahead of him right now. He's got a 2-second advantage back to Connor Levy, and granted, he's on the older tires. But you know, he continues to just kind of hang that gap at around 2 seconds here. It looks like Levy's chopping about a 1/10 or 2 off a lap, so he might catch him in time, but it might still take a little while.
Yeah, and pretty soon those tires will be on even terms, so to speak. And so that'll be an exciting one to watch. But I'll tell you what else is going on right now. These two, we've seen these before. St. Clair College trying to go to work on the Clemson Tigers. This group is going to try and look, can he look to the high side? I don't know. But down into turns 3 and 4, these two drivers are going to try and deep into the corner. Zach DeWale's ready to make that pass.
Yeah, you can tell DeWale's trying to get back up there. I wonder if he's trying to get himself back up to the 199 and, you know, have a conversation with them about how the last time those two cars tangled went. But right now, they're going to have to negotiate a bit of lap traffic as well. They've got the 188 of Spencer Brown right in front of him, who hits the wall. He's right in front of him. Oh, and devastation for Andrew Williams. Heavy contact for the 23. Some contact as well for the 02. No caution, though. iRacing deemed that he was out of the racing line, so we continue the press on, but I think the 23's night might be over.
Oh, man, I don't know if there's any paint left on the car there. That is heartbreaking if you are a Clemson fan. The 23 had it very well set up. And, yeah, just looks like Brown there was in the center. Looks like he was actually probably trying to get down. I think he was trying to go low, but got on the wall, got sucked up in the wall. And then, right, the 23 expected that lane to be open, and that was not the case when he arrived on the scene. Brown has taken that car behind the wall, and you are following maybe a little bit more slowly now. The 23 up on track, and, yeah, that is not the outcome we wanted, but that other car involved, Zach DeWale, he made it out of that one and up into 7th position.
Yeah, survival by attrition there for Zach DeWale. He got some contact, but definitely not the worst of it. And that 02 looks looks like it could go another round or two here. Definitely a bit of damage on that left front, but it could be far worse, as it now looks like the Wingate guys have found each other on track once again. The last time Schulenberger went for a pass on Jake Cummings, and he nearly got turned by his teammate there, so we'll see if this one goes any better than the last one here. These two would keep finding themselves on the track next to each other, whether it's qualifying or in the early going of this race, or now here on lap 89.
Yeah, those cars with an identical situation on the right front. That right front fender knocked in just a little bit. You could see that right front tire poking out there, but no fender rubs currently, as those drivers try and get it sorted out down the straightaway, and maybe a truce temporarily. But a couple things going on right now. Clint Halterman under fire from his teammate. Both of these UNC Charlotte cars under fire from that 199. That is Edwin Onofre, who is just staring out his windshield, and he's trying to get around on these guys. And Alex, we can't ignore that gap has actually, it did drop down to about 1.4, and now it's opened up to about 1.7, but that gap, a very appealing storyline at the top of your scoring tower as well, between the Buckeyes and the Sun Devils.
Yeah, the Connor Levy's starting to reel in the leader ever so slightly here. It's like a tenth a lap or so on average. But right now, the real battle in the top 5 is this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, is all 3 of these cars. You could throw a blanket on them and cover all 3 of them here. Is Edwin Onofre right up to the back bumper of Jared Kaler in turn 1. He's trying to find his way around, but they're going to run identical lines through the corner here for the moment. Edwin Onofre gets a little more drive through the center of the corner, though, on those slightly fresher tires. But you can tell that tire advantage really is not as prominent now as it had been on the start of the races. Now, even on the newer tires, they've still left sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. And these drivers starting to get closer and closer to the wall on corner exit. That is going to be something to pay attention to. Right now, we can see that Timothy Wilms is trying to carry that Drexel flag forward. Remember, a tough start for his teammate in the 76, Jason Wallet. Is having maybe not the race that he wanted for this one, but Drexel University right now running strong, that 86 car. And was going to say that just up the road, that Carmine Caruso is carrying the flag on the roadside for St. John's University, but here on the oval side, Nicholas Budimlek making his first start this season, but not his first CiL start. Here on the oval side is doing a really nice job keeping that 67 off the wall, and the battles continue here as Tyler Klingensmith is trying to continue working on that 23 car. That 23 probably needs the front end chopped off of it with the Sawzall, Alex. That 23 has seen better days. But the 65
and now Williams
big into the corner.
Sanchez, that was very dicey. He had the checkup, caused the 65 to check up, lets Andrew Burl get right back into this scene as well. All of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, Josh, some heavy action for 14th through 17th. Is now Timothy Wilms well to the inside of Hundley here. He'll launch it into turn 1, able to make the pass for the moment if he can get the launch through the corner. Looks like he's able to do so, and now Timothy Wilms up into the top 10 as Cody Hundley continues his slow descent down the timing table. On the last restart, I think he had restarted either like 4th or 6th, but just slowly going the wrong direction right now. But Timothy Wilms making something of it. He's on his way forward. And is continuing to work his way up toward Nicholas Budimlik, who's now running in the 9th position. As we go a little farther back, it looks like Andrew Burl got around Tyler Klingensmith, and now it is closing in on his teammate and Andrew Williams, trying to take away the 15th position.
Yeah, that does seem accurate. And up at the front, another driver who's going the wrong direction is that P5 car you'll see on your tower, North Carolina at Charlotte. And when it switches over to drivers, that Jared Kaler machine, such a quick paint scheme, but maybe not the run he was hoping for, maybe looking for a new set of tires on that Chevrolet Impala. So, maybe that's a Chevrolet Monte Carlo right there. I stand corrected, Alex. But down in the corner, we are on board right now with North Texas, who is going to work and has split up this amicable friendship right now of North Carolina at Charlotte. given a lot of, given a wide berth maybe down the front. Can they get the job done into this corner? Yes, they can. Up the track, they got to get that car stopped. Looks like he is going to succeed there. Looks like he's going to drive off the corner, and that is a new third place runner. That last step of the podium belongs to the University of North Texas right now.
Oh, and the 07 into the wall a little bit there. Lost his bearings for just a moment, and then Kaler will capitalize to take away fourth. But right now, second and third are the cars who are on the alternate pit strategy, so definitely a viable strategy if they went to the alternate one. It looks like also sixth place is on that alternate strategy. But Matthew Morton starting to pull away again from Connor Levy. That gap has reopened the 2.1 seconds here, about the gap it was when Levy made the pass for second place to begin with. We saw it get as low as about 1.4, but it hasn't gotten any closer than that. So right now, Ohio State and Matthew Morton is very much in control of this race and has done a really good job of managing the gap over this green flag run.
Yeah, so right now, Levy and Onofre, those two drivers with their, about 30 laps on their tires, and maybe that's the number that we can write down on our notebooks. That's when those tires start to even out. So a little bit exciting from those drivers. And yeah, battle up at the front there. That is for Matthew Morton. As you can see, that gap was going the other way. Now it's starting to get a little bit bigger. Last 5 laps. So pretty big
Matthew
move there.
Morton is battling some lap traffic here. He had to get around Jason Willott, and that cut the gap down by nearly half a second, and now he's approaching Andrew Burrell. He's getting to a whole host of cars here, I believe, in a moment, and this could start getting really, really dicey here. As now Levy's going to look to the inside of the lapped car of the 65. The lap traffic can really help or hurt Connor Levy in this situation, depending on if he can clear them better than Matthew Morton can, as he's trying to find a way past the Cal car here into turn 1. Looks like he's going to be able to do it there. But yes, certainly this is where that gap's going to really start fluctuating. We saw it get as low as 1.6 again, but now already back up to 2.1, 2.2-ish. So, you know, the joys of being in lap traffic here is every so often we're seeing, Matthew Morton brings it down pit road. Looks like he's going to bring it in for some fresh tires and fuel. This could kick off the pit cycle in a big way.
Yeah, I didn't know if we'd arrive here, but green flag pit stops are on the menu now. So Ohio State is going to lead that charge. That's probably not a terrible decision. You know you're going to slow your pace way, way down trying to get through that lap traffic. So 13's strategy here is just that he can come out in with some of the faster crowd. So he'll still be in traffic, but the traffic will match his pace a little bit more. So not a terrible decision right there. That means your leader, if only for the moment, is Connor Levy. And I'll tell you what else, Clint Halterman and UNC Charlotte, they have come down pit road together. So you know that they are going to do that now. And your leader still
Zach
coming.
DeWill, both the Hunleys, Edward Sanchez, Silver, everyone starting to make their way down pit road at this point here. A number of cars starting to get involved in the pit cycle here, and I would imagine that we could see Levy and Onofre stay out a bit longer. But if you're someone like Nicholas Budemlik or Timothy Wilms, we could see them coming down pit road pretty shortly here. I think they're still on the primary pit strategy there.
Yeah, that is correct. And if you look on the scoring tower, you'll see the gap. So currently, in the middle here of the cycles, a yellow flag right here. You see, look at the 13 scooting by Garrett Fitton in the 42.
And that's the car that's in third, and he looks like he just got driven by standing still. That's how much these fresh tires are really kicking in right now.
That is correct. And I'll tell you, all that Ohio State can think about right now is that opening Auto Club race where they had the perfect pit strategy. This is exactly what they did, and they came out, and the caution came out right now before they could unlap themselves. And they never did make it back up to the front, even with all that pace. But right here you see North Texas. So this is the Ohio State Buckeye machine trying to get around second position. And now we will see if he can get around the race leader. Not quite in your screen, but about 6 seconds up the road. That's what the 13 wants to do right now. So some cars have kind of gone down pit lane, and that group, we got 2 groups right now, Alex. That first group has completed their pit stops, and you can see the outliers there hanging out. Arizona State University with 2 cars on that alternate strategy. Wingate University as well. Drexel and the University of North Texas are all waiting for a caution right now so they can come down and trap the rest of the field 1 lap down. That's what would happen. But all those cars in your top 10 that you see 1 lap down, Alex, they're going to march on right now, and they're going to go ahead and get those laps back.
Yeah, they're certainly going to try, as Garrett Vitton now brings it down pit lane. He was running third, so now only 5 remain in that alternate strategy who are staying out at the moment. But there is definitely some time being made up right now by Matthew Morton. As you can see, he just continues to close up onto these cars on older tires and just absolutely roar on past them. Connor Levy definitely is not too far ahead. There you see that 14 car just ahead of him. He's the car right ahead of Morton here. Morton can unlap himself this corner if he's ambitious, or he might wait till the end of the exit. Nope, he just goes right around him on the inside through 1 and 2. Looks like Levy was standing still on those ancient tires, and now Matthew Morton back on the lead lap here. I mean, granted, he still has a whole circuit to go, but at some point, Connor Levy is going to need to stop at least one more time to have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, and look at those laps there for Matthew Morton. He put those tires on, and from the 30s or so, he's back down. Boy, into the 29s. Now back up into the 30s right there, but nonetheless, very quick right there for that driver, the Buckeye.
Yeah, he is absolutely flying right now, and if you're any of the cars in the top 5, you're just praying for a caution to come out here so you can justify that strategy call and still maintain that track position you worked so hard to get. But right now, everything seems pretty spread out, at least from what we're seeing on the camera angles here. So right now, you've kind of made your bed. Now you're just going to see if it works out or not, as there is only about 40 laps to go in this race here from Darlington. We're going to be hitting lap 111 next time around. You see Andrew McCall up at the top of your screen actually flipped the wall a little bit there, but is able to keep it forward. Looks like Timothy Wilms brings it down pit road, and now the 5 have become 4 who have not pit yet.
Yeah, I think that's correct, and you can see on your screen the last lap there for each driver. So Ohio State really hanging around at 30 flat, and then 32 or 33 seconds for Arizona State and for North Texas, as Tyler Klingensmith actually makes his way into the top 15 around Drexel. And actually St. Clair College moving their way past Drexel there for P8 as well in your tower. But was just going to say, Alex, that 13 car, he's getting the job done, and he will have time if he keeps the pace. I assume that as he puts, again, we said that 20, 30 laps on his tires, that pace will slow down. But if we go green to the end, he's got a good opportunity to try and compete with that Arizona State machine. And, Alex, that Arizona State machine, he's going to have a lot of laps on those tires if this does go green to the end.
Absolutely. You also wonder if you're Arizona State, at what point do you pit trying to then get the fresh tire advantage over the 13 and try and run him back down the way he did to you just a few laps ago? Definitely an interesting cat and mouse game if it stays green the rest of the way. But I see the way the 13 flies past some of these cars in the corner on the fresh tires compared to those on the older ones. And it reminded me of that scene from Speed Racer at the end where he's just like flying by everyone at like the speed of light. But Connor Levy actually has brought it down pit lane right now. The 14 coming in for 4 tires and fuel, leaving only Edwin Onofre, Nicholas Badimlik, and Jake Cummings on that alternate strategy still out. This could be big for Connor Levy. If they stay green the rest of the way, he'll be on like 10 lap fresher tires than the 13, and might be able to run him back down on fresher tires depending on timing. But definitely not going to be an easy feat. As here comes Edwin Onofre as well.
Edwin Onofre on that strategy. So you're right. Not only that, but they would hit about that 20 to 30 lap window, that big pivotal difference that we see right at the end of the race. So I think that's what these drivers are doing. Is man, their calculators must be on fire, Alex, but they have timed it in such fashion that they are doing exactly what you say. They're going to try and be in position with a little extra pace in the tires there. And your new leader for the time being is Ohio State University Buckeyes, to the point again. Matthew Morton working lap 114, so 115 this time by. He's going to have about 35 or so laps to get the job done, and he's already got about 10 laps on those tires. So yeah, we'll see how these cars manage to get to the end, but this one is shaping up to be a good one.
That it is. definitely an interesting way the strategy might shake out here. And with Nicholas Budimlik coming down pit road, it leaves Jake Cummings as the only car who has not come down pit road this cycle. But he cannot make it to the end on fuel, so I got to imagine he's bringing it down sooner rather than later. But we'll see when he eventually peels off. It might actually be right now as he goes way to the inside here. Through the corner. He's looking to bring this car down pit road finally, I believe. And now that means every car will have come down pit road on the side. Oh, and he hits the barrels. The 007 clips the barrels entering pit lane. Not only is that going to cost him some time, depending on how fast he was going, he may have also got caught speeding on entry.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know how to call that one, but not what you need there if you are on board, and just go on board a little bit quickly right here with Jake Cummings. He was up here. This is him trying to decelerate. He wants to get down to pit road. He's got to do so in the next set of corners. And yeah, you can hear him. He's on the gas, and you would be Alex. He knows the corner's coming up. Deep onto pit road, run over that apron. It is the shortest way around this Darlington Raceway. And down in the corner, a hop, skip, and a bump. Oh, maybe a little bit surprised. He was not ready for that cutout in the wall. Kind of kicked him out a little bit, and I guess that was all it took.
I guess so. That's going to be my running theory as well, because that kind of seems to be what happened there. Right now, Matthew Morton very much in control, 13 seconds ahead of Clint Halterman. But the car I've got my eye on in particular is Connor Levy back there in 6th. He's the highest running car of those who are on the freshest tires. Also, maybe Garrett Vighton to a degree, but he kind of split the difference between Morton and Connor Levy, so I don't know how much of a difference his tires are going to be. I think they're only about 5 or 6 laps newer. But yeah, right now, only 7 cars on the lead lap through this pit cycle here. And it's going to continue to kind of compress, I think, as the last chunk of this race goes on, because Morton was like the one who kicked off the pit cycle. So I'd imagine as this race continues, we'll see that gap to the lead continue to condense a little bit as those on the fresher tires continue to make some headway.
Yeah, and you can see right there, North Carolina at Charlotte has put themselves in a nice position at the end of this one, and so has Zachary DeWale as he tries to hustle up the road. He's about 3 seconds back of the duo that we were just watching, but he's got an opportunity to make some good headway as well. Though I don't know what those tires are doing. Maybe he's just saving a little bit for the end as some of those cars with newer tires skedaddle their way around right there on your tower. In fact, Edwin Onofre kind of locked in a battle right now. He's going to try and get around that 110 machine. So can North Texas sneak under the Buccaneers? East Tennessee State University, I think they will concede the position, and through some pit strategy, that is still a top 10 running right now, Alex, for that driver there from East Tennessee State.
Yeah, and he continues to hang on at the tail end of the top 10 here, but Edwin Onofre hit a lot later than the rest of these cars in the field. He's one of the last ones to come down pit road, so he will continue to be on fresher tires than the majority of the field here. But right now we have Clint Halterman and Jared Kaler. This is the battle for second. They're both about 14 seconds behind Matthew Morton for first, but Kaler makes the pass on the inside. He'll take away position number 2. And now the ability to save tires will have to be on full display here to see who can make it all the way to the end and have any pace left to go. Connor Levy also a moment ago looks like he got around Garrett Vighton for 5th, and one of the only other real passes in the top 5 here in the past few laps.
Yeah, passing on track is a bit shuffled right now, as you can see that those drivers in blue on your screen. In fact, I think just behind behind Garrett Vighton. So the top 6 are on the lead lap, scored on the lead lap, and I think that the collective leaders of this one have put a lap down through the kind of off-sequence shuffling the rest of the field. And so that 14, we'll see if that 14 can get the job done. I don't know if that 14 right now has the pace. We got 25, little over 25 laps left in this one, and I don't know if the Sun Devils have the pace to close it out, but Connor Levy is on a mission right now.
Yeah, he's moving pretty good. Another car who's moving pretty good, you see Brandon Schulenberger has rallied back into the top 10 as well. He's holding off Hundley and Sanchez there behind him in 10th and 11th. And despite the up and down day that Wingate's had here, they have their drivers currently running 9th and 14th after starting 27th and 28th. So a lot of forward momentum despite some early hurdles there for the two Wingate cars.
And I don't think we can omit the kind of the tough start that those drivers had. That was a little bit tricky there, but yeah, Wingate University putting a nice finish down to this one. And this is one of the closer battles on track right now, trying to see if Cody Hundley can work his way around that Wingate machine. And man, I tell you what, Alex, just about every car in this race has that right front fender pushed in just a little bit. So that must be a pretty common theme for these drivers. Must be pretty tight there towards the middle and end of the run.
Yeah, I mean, one part of Darlington is getting the Darlington stripe, whether you like it or not. A lot of times it'll just happen. And it seems to be like a number of the drivers here have gotten it. I mean, obviously, you look at Andrew Williams' beaten and battered Clemson car there in the background of that shot. He had a little bit more than just the Darlington stripe with some of the heavy contact that happened to him earlier in this race. But he's continued to grind it out here. Currently actually sitting in 13th despite the amount of damage to that machine. I'm kind of shocked that thing is still running as effectively as it is. As we now see Connor Levy diving to the inside of Zach DeWale. This is the battle for the 4th position. DeWale, despite being on the outside, doesn't really have anything for him, and the 14 will make the pass through the corner, roar down the front stretch, and Connor Levy into P4 here on lap 127.
Yeah, and that lap notwithstanding, the times you see on your screen are the last lap by for these drivers, and about equal there due to the traffic for that 14 car. But he is appearing to be about a second or half a second faster each lap that he goes by, and we've got about 20 laps left in this one. And all in all, you can see is about 20 laps back. So if he puts down 20 heaters in a row, he's got an opportunity to meet our leader, and would do so with a little bit fresher tires, but it's going to be very hard to assume that tire advantage for the next 20 laps. And yeah, more lap traffic is not going to help the Sun Devils case.
Nah, I don't think so. I think he could pretty realistically get up past the two UNC Charlotte cars in 3rd and 2nd, but there's just an absolutely massive gap up to Ohio State in 1st. Matthew Morton is checked out from the field. He's a whole half a lap ahead of the next closest car. And he will be happily content to manage that gap on back. And because of the pace that he's setting and how well he's run the pit strategy here by kind of undercutting the rest of the field, there's only 6 cars on the lead lap here. It only goes back to Garrett Vighton in 6th. After that, everyone else is at least 1 lap off the pace, which is kind of wild to think about, all things considered. But right now, you see Jason Willott, who has had a pretty rough evening by all stretches of the imagination, currently running in 17th here, getting passed there by Wingate. Jake Cummings, who is a lap ahead, he is currently running 13th, so that is not a battle for position. But Jake Cummings was one of the last cars, actually he was the last car to come down pit road, so he's on the freshest tires. Someone was in the wall pretty heavily there. That was Andrew McCall, who got a big chunk of the wall going into turn 3, and elects just to bring it down pit road. No caution, but definitely some heavy contact for the 018.
Yeah, I don't know if that was scheduled, or if he was trying to come down pit road, or if he just said maybe we'll take a break from this one. But and right there you can see the 199. He's going to try and unlap himself, I think. I don't suspect that the 13 has just lapped the 199, so I think that North Texas will try and get themselves back on the lead lap. That would be the 7th car on the lead lap that you see there on your ticker. But it's going to be pretty tricky, a tough ask to get by that 13 machine that you see there on your screen. But if anybody can do it, it's going to be that North Texas driver, Edwin Onofre.
Yeah, I mean, Edwin Onofre picked significantly later, so we'll have a bit of a tire advantage over the 13 here. But, passing at Darlington, no small feat. He's going to have to find his way around, and we'll see if he's able to do it. Very much just kind of in the shadow of the 13 right now. As you see Connor Levy now within half a second of 3rd place Clint Halterman. He's got a couple of lapped cars he's got to negotiate first. That first is Timothy Wilms, who's able to get around on the outside. Then he's got to get around Dylan Godinez in that 808 before he reaches Clint Halterman as Wilms clips the wall off of turn 2. But you see the two UNC Charlotte cars as they went to the corner there. One lapped car in between them and Connor Levy back and forth. This is where if there's any last minute shuffling in the top 5 here, barring a caution, I should say, it'll be in the second, third, fourth range, as Halterman's still pretty much in striking distance of Jared Kaler, and now Connor Levy starting to enter the picture as well.
Yeah, and that's what Levy's going to try and do. We continue to follow the pursuit of the Arizona State driver. He's going to try and get in this corner, and yeah, 15 laps to go now. Not looking like he's going to catch the leader with this mess in front of him, but he's got an opportunity to get a great points haul to get past this duo of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And that would be no small feat either. We should remind, but yeah, that 808 car is going to be first up, and how can he get managed with Dylan Godinez? He's going to try and hang out probably a little bit far back, Alex, to pull out right now.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Godinez, I think, is on fresher tires, but he's also not on the lead lap, currently scored in 20th. So definitely throws a bit of a wrench into the plans of the guys running second, third, and fourth. They're trying to figure out how they can negotiate each other, but also figure out how to coexist with the 808 here. As he tries to get around the inside of Halterman. Looks like there almost was a little bit of contact. He gets around the 07, but that lets Connor Levy pull right up to the back bumper here going down the backstretch. You might look to the inside here of 3 and 4. It'd be a gutsy call. He elects to go against it here, but settles right back in behind the 07 and might look to make the pass here going into turn 1.
Yeah, that seems to be it. I think the UNC car, they both lost a lot of momentum. UNC was up in the wall a little bit. Clint Halterman was, and Connor Levy then had to kind of figure out what he was going to do. Didn't have the ability to just turn that car left. These Gen 4 stock cars not as nimble as some others, but will he have a run down into the corner? He's looking, but I don't know if that is the answer. Yeah, he's low, but he's not going to make the move right there. Probably going to save that one, but he is going to need to get around. Running out of time here for the 14 car.
Yeah, absolutely. And every lap he waits is a lap that he is starting to lose Jared Kaler ahead of him as he continues to pull away with Godinez there. So right now this battle with Halterman is the battle for third. It would be for the final podium spot here. It's about the closest battle we have on track here going at the moment. Is now Levy looks to the inside down the backstretch. He's looking to dive into 3 and 4. Not too far away, though, to slide up and make anything happen. So he'll settle back in behind the 07. Only 12 laps to go here from Darlington. And, you know, it's anybody's race for second, third, and fourth. But barring a caution, I think this is fully in the hands of Ohio State and Matthew Morgan.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would dispute that at this point. Working down the backstretch now, that 14 car. I don't know if that 14 car has what he needs. Maybe he used up a little bit of his car just trying to get around the 07, and now is in a unique position of being a little bit stuck right there. We'll see if he can try and get a run off the corner, stick a nose low. But again, not sure that he's going to get there before turn 1, and we know that being on the inside of turn 1 right there is not, well, even if it was the 07 kind of shut the door there, Alex.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He's doing quite a bit of defensive driving here, keeping the 14 behind him. The 14 gets a better run down the straightaway, but he's not able to stay close enough through the corners to capitalize on that run. As you see them all trying to get around the lap car of the 65 there. All sorts of traffic all of a sudden out of nowhere. You see the 86 and the 100 closing up onto the back of Connor Levy as well. All of a sudden there is quite a few cars here, and with half of them not on the lead lap, this could be a very interesting turn of events if anyone tries using them as a bit of a pick, or one of the lap cars tries to unlap themselves by getting around this pack of second, third, and fourth.
Boy, if somebody one sneeze and we're all going to lose it. And there it is. The 58 is around. Jared Kaler's around. He got that car saved, but you can see that right rear is crunched right there. In fact, the Hoosiers pulling up in front of Drexel, but Connor Levy will take advantage of this. We'll check the replay if we get a breath, but right there, the 14 not going to give the 58 an inch, and he'll set his sights back on Clint Halterman. This time it'll be for second position, not third as it would have been, but yeah, a little bit sneaky right there, and contact there for the 58, and I think it was the 808, but I'm not sure. We can check in a minute.
That was Dylan Godinez who was finally trying to clear the 58, and something went squirrely between the two. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but there was definitely contact between those two cars, and Kaler came out the big loser of that exchange, losing out both third and fourth place. So now, all of a sudden, what looked to be a double podium opportunity for UNC Charlotte may have just slipped away as Kaler falls back to fourth here. Taking a look at the replay here, you can see that orange and white car of Dylan Godinez gets a really good run down the straightaway, really closes up to the back of the 58, and then tries to go around him on the high side and just a little bit of contact.
Just not high enough. Wow. And that will not be a pleasant day at the hauler there. Those two crews are going to have a discussion. I'm nearly sure of it. Back for position, you can see Wingate University is trying to hold off Drexel University. That's Tim Wilms trying to see if he can get that car up to the 12th position. Let's not forget about Connor Levy back up at the front. We're going to need some more cameras, as usual, Alex. A big slide out of that 14 right now. There are 5 laps to go, coming by the line this time. That 14 is going to work on that 07. Connor Levy has a small tire advantage here, and he is ready to use it.
If there's anything left, that is. I mean, he was really churning through them, trying to make some of those passes earlier. If he's got anything left, though, now is the time. Only 5 laps to go here. Halterman with 2 cars of lap traffic side by side for a moment ahead of him. They file back out the single file, but he's going to have to find his way around. Andrew Burrow on the inside. A big wiggle from the 07, able to clear him, though. And here comes the 14 as well, trying to follow suit. It's going to get a little tight up in turn 1 and 2. Burl in the wall, actually, and the caution's out.
Sanchez and Baruch are in the wall right here, looking on the monitor, understanding. But, man, if we didn't have enough excitement, that's going to be our green-white checkered, Alex. And holy cow, I'm not sure if that's more exciting or if we're deprived of that finish. But now we're going to have a little bit different flavor because Matthew Morton has just leaned forward in his race seat, and he's got a job to do now.
Well, not only does he have a job to do for the first time in about 50 laps, he might honestly need the pit. He's on the oldest tires on the field because he's kicked off the pit cycle. I mean, he genuinely might need to consider coming down pit road here because if anyone comes in behind him, yeah, okay, so the 13 comes down pit road. Who's going to be the first car to try and gut it out on old tires is the question. See Halterman diving in here. Looks like Levy's thinking about it. Levy's going to bring it down pit road. Here comes Kaler. So all the leaders, how far back do you have to go for someone to get a little gutsy and try and stay out? Those are the only cars on the lead lap, I believe, actually. So they might have to try again on the next go-around here. But this all of a sudden changes everything because Matthew Morton had this race won, and all of a sudden he's going to have to earn it once again on a last-second restart.
He will, and I'll tell you what else, you'd like to have shenanigans on pit road, but iRacing opening up these pits so early, Alex, there's not going to be a race off pit road because Matthew Morton was in his box and had that car up on the jacks before his competitors were halfway down pit road. Those cars were not bunched up, and yeah, a Sunday drive off pit road for the Buckeyes there. Jared Kaler, he's going to try and get that car sorted off, and you can see these drivers getting ready. Clint Halterman right there, he's going to come off pit road as well.
Taylor beats Connor Levy off of pit road, though, so that's where the first position change will happen of the couple of cars who pit there. We saw Zach DeWale and Garrett Vitton also pitting there, along with Edwin Onofre a little bit later on. But all of a sudden, this changes the entire complexion of the race. I mean, we were watching, granted, a great battle for second, but the race was all but won for Matthew Morton, and then all of a sudden, here we go again. This time it'll be, looks like Clinton Halterman to his outside, and he'll have Kaler behind him, and then the outside of row 2 will be Connor Levy. All of a sudden it's anyone's race again, because it's just a matter of who can get the good run down to the corner.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I don't know that anybody stayed out. I see Kent Hundley was ahead. I thought he stayed out on the scoring tower, but he did bring it down pit road. And so when we get kind of ready to go here, I think most of the field, or all 10 drivers, are going to have something to go for here up top. And yeah, that will be a green-white checkered Alex, we're going to have 2 laps to go, and suddenly UNC Charlotte and Arizona State, they are chomping at the bit. And oh, let's not forget about our friend Zach DeWale here. He is ready to go in that 0-2. Yeah, he's thinking about the strategy and keeping that car locked in. So St. Clair College in good hands there in that 5th position right now.
Yeah, right now the two schools primed for a potentially big evening here. UNC Charlotte currently scored second and third, and Arizona State currently scored fourth and seventh. So a couple schools with multiple drivers inside the top 7, 8 cars there. But Ohio State will be the leader at the restart here. It will be a green-white checkered in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. There is only one attempt at a green-white checkered, so this will be the last attempt at trying to close out this race. If not, then they'll figure it out. But a couple of cars here taking the wave around here to get to the back of the field. Looks like lights are off on the pace car, which means this time by, Josh, it will be go time for the final time.
Yeah, that's correct. And one final time there on the pit. So you can see just about everybody with those fresh tires. In fact, it looks like Budimlek and Schulenberger keeping on their old tires, 35 and 47 laps on those general tires. And so if that is correct, then that is going to be something to watch for. Those drivers are going to have to make sure they don't slip the tires as they go. Yeah, these drivers did take the wave around, and so they will be here catching up to the field. And I'm looking here. Yeah, the pace car is off, Alex. We're coming to the green flag.
Pace car is off for the final time. Green-white checkered time in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. The flag is up. It is waving in the air, racing for the final time. A huge slip of the wheels for Clint Halterman. He'll fall back behind Jared Kaler. Kaler makes the pass for second. Morton holds on the first for the moment as they roar into turn 2. It is either going to be the 13 or the 58, as right now Connor Levy and Garrett Vighton have found themselves together for 5th and 6th. Although Matthew Morton is already checked out, and I don't know if either driver is going to have something for him as Kaler has dropped back into the clutches of Clint Halterman.
Yeah, and I assume those teammates may or may not have an ability to work together there. A lot of wheel slip, though, out of that Connor Levy machine. Don't know if he was a little bit eager to get going or slow on the reflexes, but a couple things that you totally mentioned. Matthew Morton is starting to stretch this one out half a second. 3/4 of a second now, and I tell you what's not going to help is these two UNC Charlotte cars. They have decided that they are going to have a little battle of their own, and that's all well and good, and you should, but you don't want to let that 0-2 by. That 0-2 is hungry. He knows he's got an opportunity.
That's going to do it. Kaler holds on at the line for second, but Matthew Morton and Ohio State have won the Darlington race here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. The number 13 puts it in victory lane. Kaler holds off Clint Halterman for second. Zach DeWale and Connor Levy round out the top 5. And even with the green-white checkered, Matthew Morton handled it beautifully and did not look back from the moment that restart dropped.
No, he did not. Very fast pace from the Buckeye right there. And I don't know what you do differently. If you're a competitor right there. We saw a little bit of challenge early, but that 13 car really had the pace to beat in qualifying and in the race, and he's going to burn it down, rightfully so, Alex.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was a pretty dominant effort from the driver of the 13 today. His second victory this season in 4 races in the Garage Shop College Cup Series, and it very well could have been his third in 4 races had the strategy fallen different at Auto Club, but for as wrong as the strategy fell that race, it fell the right way for him today. And he picks up a very convincing victory here at Darlington. And then UNC Charlotte rallies to put 2 cars on the bottom 2 steps of the podium.
Yeah, that's correct. Paying homage to the Toyotas from maybe 2018, 2019, putting that right rear quarter in the fence when you celebrate. That's the only way to do it, as we know, Alex. But holy macaroni, let's see if we can catch our breath a little bit. Yeah, you mentioned it. It was the tire strategy. The 13 had it all the way. Good on him to start those pit stops early. But Alex, I will call out that we're guessing for about the whole race on, I'll say, I thought it was just the Sun Devils, but it turned out to be maybe 5 or 7 cars that were on a little bit of an alternate strategy, and man, it almost came to them.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's time we talk to a couple of our podium finishers here. First person we're going to bring in is going to be our third place finisher this evening, Clint Halterman. Clint, congrats on the podium. What did you see out there through the progression of that race from a really yellow heavy front half to a nearly all green back half of the race and the green white checkered?
Yeah, that was a really fun race. Just seeing how that played out with all the green flag pit stops. What I didn't see was a lot of Matthew there. He was just gone the whole race. But yeah, it was interesting there with the strategy. I know like Jared and I and a couple others stayed out with that one caution before it went green, and then got other guys pitted, and I didn't think it would work out there. I thought new tires would prevail at the end, and but I think uh, Connor, Jared, and I were having a great battle for second there in the closing laps. There, Connor, I think, just got a little bit stalled out, but yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun for us to watch as well, Clint. Congratulations on the run tonight, and 150 laps. It was a little bit longer tonight. A lot of yellow flags, at least to start a little bit earlier on. Did that influence your race strategy or change anything you guys were doing as a team?
Yeah, I think yeah, we got to that point where I think that caution came out like third. I don't know what caution number it was, but the caution lap 60, it was like Jared and I were debating. It was like, don't really want to use up our third set of tires when we got 90 laps to go there. So those early cautions definitely played a role, and of course, when we stayed out, that's when we got the long green flag run. But yeah, definitely, man, I'm sweaty from from all those green flag laps, just holding on to it. So yeah, it was tough out there trying to hold on to it, but like I've said, it was a lot of fun racing out there.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch as well. And before we let you go on your evening, is there anybody that you want to thank or give a shout out?
Yeah, I just want to thank my friends and family for supporting me. Thank Jared, being a good teammate. I think raced each other really well there. Yeah,
Congratulations again, Clint. P3 and really good finish for your team as well.
thank you guys.
And that was Clint Halterman from North Carolina at Charlotte. Alex, third place. I think he earned it. That black, 07 machine, the UNC Charlotte car, was up front all night.
Yeah, he was in the hunt all evening. And another car who was in the hunt most of the evening as well was the 58 of Jared Kaler. Jared, welcome back to the booth. P2 tonight, and uh, I'm not saying necessarily an up and down night, but a night that didn't look like it was going to be second until about 2 laps before the end.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. I'm not too familiar with these next gen cars. I think I've only done like one official race in them, so I'm pretty unfamiliar with how they drive and how you control them and how you save tires and all that stuff. But I mean it was a blast, that's for sure. I mean Darlington's always a pretty cool track and it's always super fun like that. And Clint ran pretty good and gave me a run for his money, and he was really quick. He made me work for it, that's for sure. But I mean, Matthew was lights out. He was class of the field, and I don't think anyone really had anything for him.
Yeah, Jared, that seemed to be the gap that we saw up in the booth here. And the other thing that we saw was a lot of these cars with that right front fender knocked in just a little bit. Was it hard to save that right front tire? Did the car get tight midway through the run?
Yeah, I mean, it would start getting tight through entry, um, but I was kind of expecting that even when I didn't have any damage, because I got damaged pretty early on in the race. Even when I didn't have damage, I knew the right front was kind of what you had to conserve, especially on entry into one and then into three. So I knew that was going to be the key point. And then you just have so much wheel into it, the rear end kind of steps out. So that's why you're kind of loose off. But I mean, I apologize to the boys back at the virtual UNC Charlotte shop. Got to probably put a new right side on the thing after this race. But yeah, it was a fun race.
Awesome. Well, congrats again. Is there anybody that you want to thank before we turn you loose tonight?
I'd like to thank you guys for putting on the session and running that cool Carl Edwards first Cup victory throwback was cool, and Niner Esports, UNCC Storm, and got a couple people watching, so giving them a shout out. And yeah, don't know what I'm doing the whole season or not, but it was a good first showing in the Gen 4.
I concur, and that's a good point. We very much enjoyed the formerly the 99, but now the 58 paint scheme at UNC Charlotte, looking quite dapper out on track, and fitting second place finish. Congrats, man! Congrats, Jared and team, on a really good night.
Thank you, guys.
And that was Jared Kaler there, second place finisher. And yeah, he deserved that. I think he was happy to be there. That's a good point. Jared Kaler has been in and out of our Gen 4 season, but man, just sat right down in the car and brought it home second tonight.
Yeah, I mean, great night for UNC Charlotte with two folks on the podium, but obviously the happiest person in the room is going to be Matthew Morton out of The Ohio State University. Matt, congrats on the win. I don't really know what to say other than that was you played the strategy right, you had the fastest car, and that clearly showed with the pace you had through the back half of the race and then dominating the green-white checkered.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I'm starting to warm up to this Gen 4 a little bit, especially with how tight this setup was. I think the power just suited it really good for me, and I think that showed a lot tonight.
Yeah, Matt, congratulations. This was maybe one of the more physical races that we've had this season. A couple of caution flags to start the race. But from your perspective, with your competitors and lap traffic, I mean, what was it like up at the front? Was it pretty easy to navigate? Was Darlington Raceway a challenge in itself? What was your take on your perspective?
Darlington is always too tough to tame, but I mean, racing at the front was great all night. I mean, there was respect even on the restarts, but navigating traffic was also pretty nice too. I think there was a lot of give and take between the leaders and the lappers, so it was great racing all night long from my perspective. So I really enjoyed that tonight.
I think we enjoyed your display of speed. I don't think anybody, a couple of the guys we talked to interviewed and said, yeah, I don't think we had anything for the Buckeyes tonight. So good on you. Very strong showing. Is there anybody that you want to thank or give a shout out to that makes this possible for you guys before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for making this series possible. It's always nice racing with a new bunch of guys, so I look forward next week at Legacy, Texas.
There you have it. Well, don't forget to enjoy tonight and a very strong run. Some would say lights out, Matt. So, Ohio State University and Matthew Morton from us. Congrats on the P1 tonight.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
And an energetic Matthew Morton there, Alex, and who would not be? All the buzzwords have been said, but there was really not much left to the imagination. Ohio State University via Matthew Morton in that 13 car put a total race together, 150 laps, didn't miss a beat.
No, they were definitely the class of the field all evening long, and I think you heard it in both Halterman and in Kaler's interview. They knew that as well. I mean, the 13 was just by far and away the fastest car out there today, and was able to capitalize and convert it into a win. But with that being said, our final rundown of the standings this evening: Matthew Morton for Ohio State University picks up the win. Jared Kaler for UNC Charlotte second, with his teammate Clinton Halterman also of UNC Charlotte in third. Zach DeWale brings it home in P4 for St. Clair College, and Connor Levy rounds out the top five for Arizona State University. Edwin Onofre from North Texas brings it home sixth. Garrett Viton for Arizona State in P7. Kent Hunley for Northeast State Technical finishes in 8th this evening. Nicholas Budemlik for St. John's University brings it home 9th. And Jake Cummings, in a very turbulent day, rounds it out in the top 10, finishing 10th for Wingate. His teammate Brandon Schulenberger right behind him in 11th. Timothy Wilms for Drexel brings it home P12 as the last car on the lead lap. Cody Hunley for East Tennessee State brings it home in 13th. Andrew Williams in a very battered Clemson University machine brings it home 14th. His teammate Andrew Burrell for Clemson brings it home 15th. Tyler Klingensmith for Robert Morris University in 16th this evening, Jason Wallet for Drexel in 17th, and Edward Sanchez for Baruch College in 18th. 19th is Colin Culpa from the University of Indiana. 20th is Dylan Godinez for, was it Overdrive Racing, I believe? 21st, Austin DeLong, also of that crew. 22nd is Andrew McCall out of Purdue University. 23rd, Spencer Brown from UNC Charlotte. 24th is Ricky Paz from Valparaiso University. 25th is Binghamton's Alex Hallinar. 26th, Ethan Decatur for Valpo University. 27th, Matthew Nordberg for NC State. And Sean Campbell for Randolph Community College in 28th.
Yeah, and it was fun to see all those drivers compete, run up throughout the field. I mean, we had drivers, for that mid pack, drivers trying to crack the top 10, top 15 that we were kind of following all night, and then very fun to see the cat and mouse tire game for all that was going on. But Alex, I think that we've got this one in the books, a stellar drive from the Buckeyes, and that's going to be a theme this week. We wondered how far we'd go in the season without it, but yeah, Auto Club notwithstanding, now it's been 2 in a row from the Buckeyes, and looking forward to Wednesday. We've got our road itch that we're going to scratch, and that is in the Toyota Tin Top machines. That's the GR86. That's been another enjoyable physical racing series this summer.
It absolutely has. That'll be going off same time as today, but on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. on the Collegiate iRacing League Twitch channel for some GR86 action. And then for the next Garage Shop College Cup Series race coming at you from Legacy, Texas, it'll be next Monday at 9 p.m. So each week at 9 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays, feel free to tune in for some collegiate racing action. But for everyone at the CiL and for co-commentator Josh Crane tonight, I've been Alex Gagnon. Thank you all for tuning in to this presentation of virtual Darlington Speedway, and we will catch you on Wednesday for the GR86 series.